little itty bitty intro because I very much know you're not here for my face. I'm just here to say, my name is Catherine, you're watching Disney Channel. If you missed it, I did a whole entire makeover of my childhood bedroom here, which I've been staying in for the past year of the pandemic. So if you haven't seen the predecessor to this video, I will have it linked in the cards to save for a later viewing and also in the description as well. What you're about to see are the profits of my makeover, an in-depth look at my little 100 square foot space here before I pack it all up and move to Seattle. So enjoy, and if you stuck around for the intro and didn't already skip to the room tour, give me a thumbs up. Okay, bye! Alrighty, so when you first walk in, to your left you have my wardrobe area. On the left side I keep all of my winter jackets, my like formal jackets, and then all of my scarves, bandanas up top on this little hook situation. And then we just have like sports bras, underwear, t-shirts, yoga pants and athletic shorts, socks, and sleepwear. All in those drawers right there. I won't bother to pull them out because it's not that interesting. And then the main closet, as you guessed it, is the main area I keep my clothes. I do filter out per season, so right now it's like spring-ish. I have a couple sweaters and then a lot of short sleeves. It's like quasi-color coordinated, but essentially sleeveless first, then short sleeve, then long sleeve, then dresses, and then outerwear here. Now on the bottom, I really don't own that many bottoms, but I have shorts, skirts, and then jeans and pants. Then I have a couple boots down here. And then this is just sort of my like junk filing system. This top drawer is all of my sunglasses, my embroidery, tape, headbands, like random passport info, gift cards, just like anything that I need to just grab and go. Second drawer, I swear used to be more organized. I actually have these organizing systems from the Container Store, but I could fake this and clean it up for you guys, but I wanted to show you the authentic reality here. Third drawer is more tech stuff, and then last drawer is like the namesake of this junk system because it's literally just all junk. Like I have 2 weights that I bought mid-pandemic because I thought I'd work out and just never use them. Bunch of like greeting cards, my hammock, and that is the main closet area here. There's also 2 mirrors on either side, which I actually quite like, and feng shui wise it's good to have your mirrors enclosed like this and not out all the time, but you'll see how I break that rule in just a moment. Last one over here is all of my extra clothing. Most of them do have little labels, but this is my themed one, so all of my USC gear, any like Halloween costumes, any like things I don't wear. Have my lovely little steamer. I love steamers, I hate irons. Where's my steamer gang at? This top one I turned the wrong way, but on the other side the label says formal clothes, so all of the dresses I've ever worn, all of my business clothes that I no longer use, they're all tucked away in here. Here's what used to be a cute little jewelry setup, but became discombobulated and it doesn't really bother me, so I've left it. And then this is all my swim stuff right here, and this is just like, I don't even know what's in this drawer, to be honest with you. That's how you know everything in here is like worthless to me. The fact that I haven't opened this drawer in like the past year I've been living here, I should really reevaluate everything that's in this drawer because I never use it. And then we have a questionable wall. I love this art piece. I got this at an art fair in San Francisco. It is California's Native Seasonal Wildflowers by thisisya.com if you want to check out their art. It is designed and produced in San Francisco, and they come to all sorts of art fairs in Northern California, and I just think it's so beautiful, like the gold gloss. Secondhand from a lumber yard they make these frames, which is so cool, and I just love the look. I love this art piece. I don't know how I feel about this one. I love the Grand Canyon. It reminds me of all the times I used to travel to see my grandparents who would snowbird in Arizona because they lived in Michigan full time. These little hanging guys I got from an artist named Carter Rose based in Portland. They came to a Renegade craft fair in Fort Mason in San Francisco, and I just love these little small hanging things. They all have their each little style. So we have this one, a round one, and a gray and speckled one. And then on the ground we have my laundry basket. It's just this little boho basket from IKEA that every girl who's ever Googled interior design seems to have. And doesn't make the best laundry basket because you can see through it, but it's all about sustainability, baby. Just reusing what you got. And then wrapping out the really, really boring part of my room, I just have limited storage in here. It's not very big. I think this room is like maybe 100 square feet, maybe 90. And so I just put all of my extra bags. It used to be my work backpack, like work purse, another work purse, and then just some extra storage in the back there. And that used to be a lamp I used in my apartment in San Francisco. And then here is actually where I turn on the light for my room. It's tucked away here, and all of like the discarded art that I haven't figured out how to use, and then all of my like elementary, middle school, high school poster board projects are down there too. So every once in a while I'll clean this out and just remember 3rd grade for all the majesty it was. Love you, Miss Poland. So that was on this side of the door. On this side of the door is also another questionable art arrangement. I love every single piece of art I have on this wall. I don't love how it looks together. I kind of just did this in a frenzy one day and didn't really map it out. Just kind of played it by ear, which I feel like works for most of the girlies, but not for me because I'm neurotic and I never get things right on the first time, which is totally fine. But yeah, I just don't think it looks the most like elevated or like upscale, but I love all this art and I wanted to see it and not just have it tucked away. So a lot of this used to be at my desk in my office in San Francisco, so I took it home. The pandemic pretty much stomped the Disney adult out of me, but I still have these like vintage Disneyland posters. This one is from Tokyo Disney Sea. This one we need to like censor. I know I should take this down after the events of last year. I need to, I just haven't gotten around to it, and it's not hurting anybody if you can't see it, so. And then I got this movie poster from an artist. Actually, both of these are from an artist in LA. His store is called Paper 8. I think he has a shop in downtown, but I saw him at the Renegade Craft Fair in San Francisco, and he does movie posters and movie quotes, and I just loved this quote from American Beauty. It's one of my favorite quotes of all time, and it is just this nice pop of red. This is from an artist whose site is chipperthings.com. They do really cool flowcharts. I no longer want to be reminded of email whatsoever, but this is here for now. And then a bunch of postcards of 5x7 prints of a lot of these things were from the Katherout college era. Didn't have a lot of money, but still wanted to support and capture these souvenirs. So I have this postcard from the Reed Shop in Atlanta, Georgia, from when I visited my best friend Cam. I love Atlanta so much, and I love that there is this Atlanta vibe to it. This is from an artist named Sabina Lara on Instagram, and she does the most beautiful prints of shops and homes in whatever city she's in. So she's done a lot of San Francisco based ones, a lot of Oakland, Boston, I think New York, and this is Bob's Donuts, which is this legendary 24/7 donut shop in Nob Hill, which was like 3 blocks from my apartment. They have these giant donuts. I've just had so many lovely experiences here with friends that I wanted to get this print as soon as I saw it, and the color palette is so beautiful. We have this normal people print that a lot of you have pointed out and have like said has triggered you while I do film videos here, so apologies for that, but I just think this is beautiful because it's not like super overtly normal people. Unless you had seen the show, you wouldn't know that this is Connell and Marianne. I will put all the artists in the description. This is one that I can't remember, but it's an artist, I believe their name is Rats and Lilies, out of Italy, and they do really beautiful artwork like this with the, you'll see another piece I have from them. Some bookmarks, some postcards, some Susie cakes. I did not have a spot in the room to hang this piece of art. Originally, I was gonna put it above my bed in San Francisco, but somehow it's not quite big enough. But this is the biggest and probably most expensive piece of art I own. It's from Lily Arnold Studios. She's based in Santa Cruz. She's just the most wonderful block print artist. So she carves these into, you know, rubber or whatnot, then rolls paint on and then presses the paper. So it's just a beautiful process. I highly recommend you go to her Instagram to check it out because it's just mesmerizing, and I just love the colors in this. I think I should have gotten maybe like a thinner frame. I don't know, something about it doesn't look as nice as it did when I bought it. So I need to figure out what went wrong here. But yeah, ultimately it shouldn't be just sitting on the floor like this, but it does make for a nice little situation when I film down here because it gets surprisingly nice lighting. And then I just have this little hook situation, very college-y, but it works for the grab and go bags I have. These are like my everyday bags. I either use my Outdoor Voices tote or this bag from Article. Is it called Article? It's called Article and Goods, and it's the perfect size. I love this little bag. And then this isn't really my style anymore, but this is kind of my like picnicking bag because it's a little bit bigger. Okay, and now onto the fun stuff. Let's come over to my bed. This is a queen size bed. It's the first queen size bed I've ever slept in my entire life, and I'm very happy with it. The mattress is from Dream Cloud Sleep, which is one of those bed in a box companies, and I am like so enthusiastic about this mattress. Obviously expensive, but it's a hybrid, so it's like soft and firm at the same time, and every single one of my family members like will jump on my bed anytime they pass my room because it's just so comfortable. It's really hard to get out of bed in the morning. This blanket is from, again, my college Katherout era. Some of you may recognize it. I got it from Society 6 and they gifted it to me. I'll talk about the frame in a second, but just storage wise, underneath is where I keep my like really most used shoes down here. And I also have this, if you can see it. This is all my childhood art that my mom needs me to keep under here, so I do. And then this is a little unit that I bought to organize all my shoes. So it's 2 rows and you can just unzip this and pull out any shoes that I don't use regularly. The actual frame itself, I think looks really nice. I kind of wish it were a little bit more colorful because my room is so white, but it's from Home Depot. I bought this before I realized some of the insidious ways that Home Depot has been funding political candidates in this country. But it's a lovely dupe for a lot of different like West Elm ones. It was incredibly cheap, but I'll try to link some other dupes down below that aren't from Home Depot. All of my bedding is from Brooklinen, which we're gonna chat about Brooklinen in my next video, not because I'm sponsored, but just because I love them. The pillows all belong to different companies. H&M Home, Hawkins, New York, Society 6, and then World Market. And then this one is from a website that has to be like notpillows.com or something. It's very just literal, and these are just so trendy and I like them. Then we have this shelving unit that my dad and I, and when I say my dad and I, mostly my dad, painstakingly made. We just bought some lumber from Lowe's and I bought these brackets off of Etsy. It is pretty high up on the wall because I didn't want to bump it when I was sleeping, but at the same time, I think it really does like elevate the room and make the ceilings taller. These slatted ceilings aren't the tallest, so it's nice to have something that raises your eye level a little bit more up. I'm actually really happy with the way I styled these shelves. Like, I really like looking at it. I think my style definitely verges more on the maximalist side than minimalist, and I like to just have things that represent me and like things that I like and things that express who I am to look at all day to remind myself that I am a real person, whether I'm living in a simulation or not. I have my most used hats here, just hanging delicately on these little knobs for use. A few books from Book of the Month and just a few other books here. This piece of pottery I made in my ceramics class. This basket and the basket up there that matches it, if you can see her, are both from a wonderful weaving artist named Mariah Okun on Instagram. She comes to a lot of Bay Area art festivals. As you can tell, I love art festivals and I love to support artists. Moving on to my next little grouping of styling, we have this little dandelion holder, I think it's called, from the Coffee Pot just south of Bozeman, Montana. They have wonderful ceramics and pastries and treats in that shop if you're ever in Montana. And I just got these dried doodads from Bloomist. This is the other Rats and Lilies piece. If you can guess, it's Fleabag. It's the bus station scene, which is absolutely heartbreaking, but we love the Hot Priest. And then I just bought this from an artist in Marin. She's kind of starting out, so I will link her down below, but she makes wonderful hand-thrown ceramics. I love her glazes. I just think this glaze is so beautiful. And the candle is actually beeswax from a man who has a bee farm, beekeepery, near Marin. This is from ZZ Ceramics, I believe. I love mugs, I love artisan mugs, and I love this shop, and I was so happy that when she did her latest drop that I was able to get one of her pieces. We have some extra plates that either Hay or Hawkins New York sent me by accident that I just kept. I love this planter. I'll have the artist link down below. I just have my little corn plant in here. And then on the second level, I am propagating my golden pothos with this really cool propagation kit. It's from, is it Bloomscape or Bloomist? I'll correct myself. And then behind it, this is one of my earliest pieces of art. It says incompetent but enthusiastic, and I bought it at the last bookstore in LA on the second floor, like I think my sophomore year of college, and I just love that. Have my dumb cane, another piece I made for my ceramics class, and then this super dope candle holder, or in my case, dried bunny tail holder from an artist I saw at West Coast Craft in San Francisco. I'll have them linked down below. This is a plant that DIED, and it's sad, but I'm waiting to repot something in this. And then just a few like cookbooks and just pretty little books up here with my tiny but mighty pothos, and then my dolphin tail, which is like not thriving. So I hope I'm able to find it a sunnier spot when I move to Seattle. I love this watering can. It's so beautiful. Like, it looks beautiful on a shelf. It's from Hawkins, New York. Little candle holder, also from Hawkins, New York. And then just some dried flowers, a Maggie Rogers CD, a little candle holder from H&M Home, and then a piece of art. It's actually upside down because it's been flopping all over the place. I will do my best to link this artist, but it's beautiful because it's the moon on every day of 2019. So you can see exactly how the moon would be on your birthday or your friend's birthday. And it just has Pisces energy, which is, I think, why I bought it. So that's the shelving unit. There she is. I rearrange her occasionally, but that's how she is right now. And then a couple more pieces of art. This is from an artist named Jen Kindle, or Hoping Machine on Instagram. I had been eyeing her work at art fairs for like years, and finally bought this lemon piece because my family has a huge lemon bush in our garden, and we used to make lemonade out of it all the time, and I just think it's fun and reminds me of home. And then I don't have strong feelings towards this one. It's just one I bought off Society 6 and just kind of worked in this arrangement, so that's why it's here. And then I hung up Christmas lights here because I saw Sarah Belle Elizabeth do it on Instagram in her office, and I really liked it. So I did it back in Christmas season and then just left it up because it makes for a good ambiance at night when I don't want to turn the overhead lights on. Because of space, I have my bed just pushed up against the wall, so I only have a bedside table on one side. This is a stool from IKEA that I painted. It's nice because it has multi-levels to it. I keep the book I'm reading right here for easy access. Here's a quick piece of dumbassery, is that I didn't realize candles could burn wood. So close call here. I'm glad I was in the room when it was burning. Good fire safety, but it's a little bit blackened or charred here. I need to repaint it, but I've been lazy. This is one of my favorite ceramics pieces that I made. It's just a little jewelry dish, very beloved. So I put my earrings or my rings in here. And then below, just, my meds for easy access and my Google Home. And then this little invisible bookshelf from Umbra. I usually keep the most recent things I've read here. And then my little cable corner. Does everybody else have one of these? Because they're ugly and there's not really a way I've found to get rid of them effectively. But all of my chargers and things that need to be plugged into outlets are kept here. I somewhat hid it with this plant. One of the worst decor purchases I made. I'm pretty sure the seller on Amazon switched their supplier because a lot of the reviews have a very cute, good-looking fake birds of paradise, or what is this called? But at a certain point, they just all started to look ugly like this and just really fake, so I'm not super pleased, but I just keep it. We got my hanging pothos, which is flourishing. I'm hoping when these little tendrils get long enough, I can stretch them up here and start to, do a little weave along my beam. Hello, I'm in my robe because I'm filming this before work, like the dutiful YouTuber I am. This is my mirror. Got this from Target. Again, I've just put some lights around it because I saw Christy Vetter do that and I thought it looked lovely. But again, it's not the most elevated look, but I think it adds joy and pizzazz to the room, so I'm going to defend it. And then rounding out the room tour and rounding out the amount I can possibly blab about all of my favorite artists and little things I've bought along the way is this desk. I have a whole makeover and desk tour linked, so I'm really not going to go into my desk tour much. Everything is explained there. So there we have it, folks. You just got a 360-degree tour of my bedroom before I move. Some of these things may stay, many of these things will go and be re-transplanted to Seattle and restyled, so I wanted to document this all and let me know what your favorite thing in the room tour was. All right, so that was that on that. If you liked my room whatsoever, I highly recommend you click the button below to turn it from red to gray. It should say subscribe on it. Because really, what is a room if not an expression of who you are? And so if you like my room, you may like my content. I'm just saying. For those of you that are already subscribed, perhaps the notification bell may be amenable to you. It is right next to the button that is gray for you with subscribe on it. And I will see you all next time. Thanks so much for watching, and Katherout.